Hello everyone and welcome back to our web development series. Now if you've followed up this series from the beginning down to this point, I want to say big congratulations because we've rounded off HTML and CSS aspects as well as JavaScript. Now in today's video we're going to be looking at Git and GitHub. We're not going to be taking much of our time, reason being that there's already a Git and GitHub tutorial on this channel, so you can check that out. Then we're just going to focus on, creating a repo, pushing to a repo, and stuff like that. Yeah. If time permits, we might do a bit of shell navigation. So, after this class, we'll be going to our JavaScript class. So, get ready. I would advise you to, be as prepared as possible. Try to get your stuff, your writing materials, your systems, and everything. So let's get started. Now, in today's video, we'll be looking at Git and GitHub, like I said. So, what is Git? What is GitHub? Like I said, I'm not going to be wasting much time because we'll have to those videos on this channel, right? So, as well as basic shell navigation is on this channel. Now, if we come to this github.com, sorry, this Git website, they said Git is a free and open source distributed version control system that's designed to handle everything from small to very large projects with speed and efficiency. Now, what this means is that Git is a version control system. Our version control system means is that it allows us to control different versions of our application. Let's say, for instance, I build an application, then I deploy, and in time coming, I decide to update this project. Right? What Git will do is that Git will help me in such a way that I can update this code while the previous one is still there. Not only that, Git also makes it possible such that multiple developers can work on the same project. Right? Git is a distributed version control system. Now, when we say distributed version control system, what do we mean? Now, when we say distributed version control system, we mean it's something whereby there will be a central server, and then each what's it called? Each version of the project is going to be on each developer's computer. Now, I'll dive into this deeper in my Git and GitHub tutorial video. I'm going to link that down in the description below. Right, so let's get started. Now, as you can see, they say Git makes it easy Git is easy to learn and has a tiny footprint. Okay, let's leave that aside. So in that video, we talked about Git and GitHub, version control system, the different type. We look at different kinds of version control system as well as stuff. So just check them out. Then now that's for Git, right? So in order for us to do something concerning Git, we need Git installed on our system. So if you want to download Git, just search for this. Then you can click on download, right? When you search on Git on your browser, and click on download and download based on operating system. Right? I believe that's very easy. Now, what is GitHub? Now, GitHub is like a social media whereby you connect with different developers as well as saving your what's it called, your project in the remote repository. Right? So when combined together with Git, it's very powerful. Right? So in order for you to work with Git and GitHub as well, and you want to save on the remote repository, what you need to do is just to create a GitHub account. After installing Git, it's very easy. You create that using your email and create a password as well, and so on and so forth. So for me, when I click on this, it's going to go to my profile, sorry, on my account because I'm already logged in on this system, right? Now, the difference is this. Now, Git makes it so that we work in a local repository, or we can create a local repository and do different things, branching, merging, and all of those stuff. For GitHub, that makes it such that we work in a remote repository, right? So that's just the difference, right? Now, if I need what's it called? There are lots of open source projects that have been done on GitHub. Let me say I want to learn about something. Let me say Python, for instance. I can go to GitHub, read their documentation about it. So GitHub is a very great place to learn. You get. So if you want to learn about something, you either learn it from their from their official documentation, not from their GitHub documentation. So it's very very nice, right? So I'm going to come here. This class needs network. I'm going to go to my profile. So before we start, let's do a bit of share navigation. So I'm going to assume that we've already installed Git and Git. So we've already installed Git Bash, and we've also created an account with GitHub, right? So it's very easy. Now, if you install Git bash, this is what you are going to get. You are going to get something like this. After downloading it, then install, you are going to get this, right? So in that video, we talked about basic shell navigation. We looked at a lot of things. So I'm just going to do a bit of it. Now, this is my Git bash. I can do a lot of things. It uses a command line interface, which is also called the CLI, right? Now, unlike your normal system where I use a GUI, which is also known as a graphic user interface, for this, all I need to do is to run command. If I want to see all the things I have on this part or direction, I'm just going to say ls. And when I say ls, that's going to list all of the folders and files in this current directory. So if you look, I have my desktop here, right? Now, don't forget the desktop. This is the desktop. It's the first place you see when you're putting on your system for the first time. So I can clear using the clear command, right? So I can see the main change directory. I can see the desktop, right? Sorry, cd space desktop. Jesus, I can't spell desktop, right? Okay, good. So I can clear my screen. What's wrong today? Right? So I can clear my screen. And now I could ls over here. Sorry about that. And when I ls over here, I'm going to see all the things I have on my desktop. So these are the things I'm having on my desktop. Maybe I should go back. I'm sorry, my desktop is a bit messy because of the different programs I'm running and so on and so forth, right? If you look, you're going to see this favicon, gbpng, these folders and so on and so forth. So when I open the Git back, you're going to see some of them, right? Let me share so. Okay, so you're going to be seeing more some of them. Okay, this is gbpng, right? So you saw that just now. So that's for that. So the other things I can do, I could create a directory by saying mkdir. Now see new directory, that's the name of the directory, right? I could do copy and paste, move, and so on and so forth. So I went into detail in my Git and GitHub video. I also have a basic shell navigation video on the channel. You can check that out as well. I'm going to be linking them on the description. Now, I could do something like creating a file. If I want to create a file, or let me ls. By the time I ls, you notice that this new directory is there. It's now being created. So this is it over here. New directory. Kind of difficult to see now, right? Coming new directory. Let me see. This is not enough place folder. Sorry, you can see this now. I don't know why I can't find this over here, but provided it run and there's no issue, it means it worked, right? It means it worked. So I could do something like cd new underscore dir. You can see that it's working, right? So I have this new dir here. So why can't I see it over here? I wanted to see it and highlight it, something like that. But then it's fine. Okay, it's fine. So this is I could create a file inside. So if you want to create a file, you see the touch command, then you see new underscore file, right? So if I clear, if I ls, I'm going to see this file. I'm having the new file inside of this place, right? So I can clear again. So that's just that. These are some of the basic commands I'm going to use. If I want to leave a directory, I'm going to say cd space dot dot and stuff like that, right? So that's for that. So now let's dive into GitHub properly, right? So I assume that GitHub is created already, right? So now first of all, we're going to work with the local one. Like I said, there's local, there's remote, right? So let's work locally first. And when you install Git, you have access to Git. If I say Git and I press enter, I'm going to see it's going to give me all of these things, saying Git this version, stuff like that, right? So that's telling us that Git has been installed, right? So if I clear my screen, I could create a new directory over here. I'll say mkdir I'll see first underscore repo, right? Okay, so let me ls. Let me see if I'm going to see this guy. First repo. Okay, good. So this is the first repo, right? Now that I created a new directory. Oh, that's the new directory I created. I was looking at the white one, it's supposed to be the blue. So please take note of that. So this is the new dir, then this is the what's it called? The first underscore repo. So now I could do something like this. cd first underscore repo, right? Now when I do this, it's going to enter into first repo. I could create another folder here by saying mkdir, right? I'll say new underscore folder, right? Inside of this, when I ls, I'm going to see the folder, but I don't need it. I can say dir, which stand for remove directory. I'll say new underscore folder, right? So remove directory, we remove that for me. When I ls, nothing is there again, right? So I can clear my screen. So the screen has been cleared. So let's create files. Now if I want to create files, the command is by saying touch index.html. Right, I've created an index.html file. Say touch style.css, right? So I created the CSS file, right? Then now I could do something like this. Now there's a text editor called Vim that comes with your command line tool, and that comes with GitHub or any of the command line. So I could do something like Vim index.html is going to open this for me in the text editor, right? Now I can go into insert mode, so I can start typing. I'll do something like h1 or say hello world, right? So I'm going to say h1 and close it. Then in order to save and quit, you can say column W to write means to save, then column Q to quit. But there's a shortcut. I could just say what's it called? WQ. I'm coming. uh, column. Okay, first of all, I'm going to escape, right? By okay, escape, right? Then column WQ, right? So this is right and quit. Now the escape is trying to say, okay, escape insert mode. And when I'm on insert mode, it means I want to type, right? So escape means to go out of insert mode, then column WQ means to quit. So if I want to see what I'm having here, I could say cat command, cat index.html, right? So I'm going to get hello world, which was what I wrote inside. So I could open this in VS Code. I could do something like code space dot. It's going to open up in VS Code for me, right? I know these things are kind of confusing, but then you just have to flow with it, because like I said, there's a video over here. You just have to go through the video, right? So you see all of this stuff. So this is going to open this folder in VS Code for me if I wait a bit. But do I have that time to wait? Okay, okay, it has opened it. So this is it over here, right? Now if I come here, this is index. Don't forget we just wrote index.html, right? So I could do my normal stuff. What's it called? To bring my boilerplate, right? Then I could do something like h1. Now see what's it called? h1. I see learning git GitHub, right? So I see sorry about this. By the time I see, when I go back to my git bash, I could clear my screen, I could run the cat command again. Now if I want to go back to the previous command, I could use the up arrow key. If I want to come back, I could use the down arrow key, right? So I want the cat index.html. You can see this is what I'm having. There's what called the head command, the take command, and so on and so forth. So just go through this video. Now you can see I've gotten this, right? Now what I want to do is to make this a GitHub repository. Now what you do is that you could do something like git init, right? I've initialized the Git repository. Now, in my local repository, the default branch is created is the master branch. So you can see it over here. I'm on the master branch. So I could do things like git add, right? If I want to add a file, I could say git add file name, which is index.html, right? What's it called? One in the copy. Okay, replace next time git touches it. Okay, let me see. Git add index dot coming index.html, right? Oh, I want to write got. Come, let me just do this for the last time. Git add this. So it has been added, right? So I'm not supposed to get that warning. So I could do something like git status, right? It's going to check. If you look now, index.html has been added. That's why it's having a green color. Not only that, it's saying if I want to remove it, I could say git remove cache file to on stages. So this guy has been staged, but this guy has not been staged. So he's saying git add the file name to include this so that it will be staged, right? So it's an untracked file. right? So let me say, for instance, I have a new file like saying touch script, right? .js. Then watch. If I run git status again, now watch what I'm going to get. You can see I'm having two on stage file, right? Now I made a mistake with spelling of my script, but never mind. Now if I want to commit all on stage file, I could do something like git add space dot. This is going to add on stage files, right? So this is what I will get. It has run, then I could do git status, right? And you can see this, all of them has been staged. Is that not so? Right? So all of them have been staged. So I could do something like clear screen, right? Now all these they have been done in a local repository, right? So I only have access to this local repository. Don't want to go into branching on local repository and stuff like that. And if I want to create a branch, I could do the git checkout command -v and stuff like that, right? So all of those stuff. But now this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. If I come back here, right? All these are being done locally. But the beauty of Git and GitHub combined together is such that I can save my files in the remote repository. Now, the disadvantage of this local repository is that this is only stored in this machine. So what that means is that when the system gets missing or something happens to it, maybe it gets spoiled beyond repair, I'm going to lose that what's it called, that repository, right? So the beauty of a remote repository is such that even though my system got stolen or get lost or got spoiled or something like that, I can also have access to my project, right? So when you're changing system, you don't need to start sending files. You just need a GitHub account to save your files remotely, right? That's what we're going to. So now for me to work with GitHub, all I need to do is just to come here and create a remote repository. And like I said, all I've done that have been done in the local repository. Now I could come here, repositories, right? So anytime I come to repositories, I'm going to see all the repositories I'm having. I could create a new repository, right? So if I create a new repository, let's just see this says there's also what called the README file, right? Now you could create your README file here. You could add it when you are creating your repository. Network is going bad, but let's see. Right, so now let me name a repository. Let me say this underscore repo, right? Now this is CS repo, then I could do something like this. So this is the description of it, right? I could add the README file, but I don't want to add the README file because I need help. So I could add the README over here. I could put it in private or public. So I want it to be public, right? Now if you put it in private, there are some free deployment like Netlify, Vercel, GitHub page deployments. I know going to have access to them, but if it's in public, you're going to have access to this free deployment, but if it's on private, you're not going to have access to them, right? So take note of that. I could add the README file, but the reason I'm not going to add the README file is because if you don't add the README file, I'm going to show you the steps to follow. I just want us to see that step. Let's work according to the step. So now I'm creating a new repository, right? So new repository has been created. Now this was saying said okay, quick step if you've done this kind of thing before, right? So this is what I'll get. Now let's continue. Now I can say git init, right? So which we've already done those guys, right? So I've done git init, I've done git add, right? So they're just telling you how to do some of the stuff. If I want to create a readme file and I want to add this stuff inside, I could do something like git echo, sorry, not echo, not git, I will say echo, right? Then I will put what I want to write, hash. Now readme.md, md is a kind of language. Now what hash is doing, I think is h1 representing their biggest heading. So I could say this says, right? That's correct repo, right? So I could do something like this. I'm going to say greater than readme.md. So all of these commands, all of these tutorials are on that GitHub stuff. You could watch it. So if I do this, I've created a new file, right? By the time I ls, you can see that I'm now having 4 files, right? Now for this readme.md, I didn't just create a file, I wrote something inside the file, right? So let me show you this on my VS Code. So this is the readme.md. You can see I wrote the CS repo inside, right? Can you see this? So take note of that. So let's come back and let's complete this. Now I've done that. I can say git add git init, which I've done. I've already done init. So if I do init, to say initializing git repository, okay, there's no problem with that. I could say git add, right? I could say git add readme.md, but no need of spelling, just say git add space dot. It's going to add every on stage file. So I'm coming git add space dot, right? Now I'm going to so I've done git add, right? So I'm going to say git commit, right? Oh, for the local one, I forgot to do commit. So you can also do commit and stuff like that. So let me just do something like first commit. My main aim is teaching GitHub, like working with the remote one. I'm not really focused on the local one, so please forgive me about that. So I've done my first commit. Now what commit does is like a message. So this is coming with an ID. So with commit, you could go back in time, go forth in time, and so on and so forth, right? So please take note of that. So I could say git branch, right? Now don't forget, in local repository it's coming with a master branch, but now when I'm going to the remote, I want it to go to the main branch. So I say git branch -m main, right? So when I do this, it's going to create a main branch for me. That's I could say git remote add origin, right? And I'm going to copy that remote repository. So I could just copy this line of code, right? So let me just come back here and I'm going to delete this, then paste this over here, right? So when I press enter, right, so I've added the remote origin. Now you can see this thing has changed from master to main, right? Then I go something like git push, then I'll set the upstream to origin, then I'll say main, right? So I'm setting it to main. So watch what will happen. Now when this pushes, now if you are doing this for the first time, it's going to open it's going to tell you to log in, then you are going to log in using the git config -if global user.email user.name. So you are going to log in with your username and your email on git bash, and after doing that you are going to copy a token, generate a token, and do all of those stuff, right? So it's really not difficult, right? I'm going to guide you. So let's continue now. This thing has been pushed to GitHub. When I come here, this is what I'm getting. By the time I reload this repository, I'm going to get this, right? So you can see, remember I said that the CSS that's on my README file, right, is like the biggest heading, right? So please take note of this. You can see the CSS, right? So then you can see the index of HTML, styles of CSS, and every other stuff, right? So this is my GitHub repository. It has been created. I could do some deployment over here with GitHub, right? With GitHub pages. So I think I'm going to do that now. So before we go, I think I need to talk about branching. So what's branching? So let's talk about branching, what branching is. Or let's talk about the deployment first before we look at branching. Now, if I want to deploy this web page, now if you look at the web page, let me say you build your web page as a beginner, you want to share with your friends and family and stuff like that, right? So remember, this is learning Git and GitHub, right? So let's just deploy this. Now, if you want to deploy, we'll go to what's it called, settings. Then on settings, um, I could go to what's it called, uh, pages, right? I click on pages. It's going to load. Let's just wait a bit. Okay, now this is what you open when you click on the GitHub page, right? So you can see I'm having the defense underscore repo. Then it's asking me to rename it if I like. So what branch do I want to deploy? Just the main branch for now because the main is what I'm having, right? So it's just to what's it called? Okay, okay. I think I let me click on the GitHub page. I don't think it worked. Okay, good. Now, right. So this is the GitHub page. Now it has worked. I'm having GitHub page designed to use a personal website, right? So what do I want to deploy? I want to deploy from branch, so which has already been selected, right? So now, what branch do I want to deploy from? I want to deploy from the main branch because that's the only branch I'm having. So when I click on save, right, this is going to deploy this. It's saying GitHub page save, right? So let's wait. After some time, it's going to give us our link so that we can view the web page. Let's wait for about a few minutes or so. I think 1 or 2 minutes. When I load this page, I'm going to see a link whereby I can visit this website. So this is how to host with GitHub pages, right? So we're going to be seeing Netlify and Vercel much more later. Um, let's see. Okay, I'm going to cancel this, right? Then I'm going to reload this. Let's see. Okay, I still need a bit of time, right? So we are going to come back to this. So this guy is going to load, and it loads. We are going to see our link, right? So if you want to get a custom domain for your site, you can do so, right? So by default, it's going to come with your username.github.io slash the name of the project or repo. I think it's something like that. So now let's go back to the stuff. So if I clear my screen, now let's talk about branching. What is branching in GitHub? Now branching, remember, like I said, one of the advantages of GitHub is such that it allows collaboration, right? So 5 developers or multiple developers can work on a single project via branching, and they can be merged later on, right, to a main branch. Is that not so? So if I do something like git branch, right, I'm going to see I'm only having the main branch. I could create a new branch by saying git checkout, right, hyphen b, and say new branch, right? So when I see, okay, so I switch me to a new branch. If I say git branch, you can say I'm having main and new branch. So I could say git switch, right, branch b to main. Oh, I'm sorry, git switch main, right? So I'll switch back to main branch. So git switch main will go back to main branch. If I clear my screen and say git branch, you can see I'm having the main and new branch. Let me reload this. Let's see if our link has been generated, right? So you can see our link, what's it called? The link has been generated. This is it over here. Like I said, djogfreeman.github.io slash repo. Now when I click on it, it's going to open this. Now, the reason why I'm getting this was because when I land this, I think I was deploying and removing. So I think they suspected something fishy also, right? But no, I'm done. You could click here, click on visit this on safe site. So the site we just created, this is the link to the site. You can view it. Let me just post it on the channel, right? So you can view it later on. This site is live. You can, build something real and deploy it on GitHub page, right? So now this is what we're going to do. Okay, let's leave that aside. Let's go back. Let's talk about branching. So I'm going to put this guy here. Oh, okay, my GitHub page is no longer here. I'm coming. I think I've closed it. So let me go back to GitHub, right? So, I know the reason. That's because I visited this. So if I go back, I'm going to see it. But then let's just leave that. Let's go to repositories again, and let's go to the source repo, right? So let's talk about branching, right? So I was running some command git. Sorry, if I say git branch, right, this is going to show me the branches I'm having, right? So git checkout -b will create a new branch, and you can follow the same process. So let me push something to my branch, right? So I could do something now. I could say git, right, switch, then I'll say new underscore branch. Is that not so? Now if I say I'm on the branch, right? I'm on the new branch, right? So I could do something like uh touch index.html2. Okay, index2.html rather, right? Then now I could do something like git. I could add just this to this branch, git add, right? And I could say git commit -m and say adding to branch, right? And I say git remote add origin. So I'm going to add the, what's it called? Remember that git remote add origin we used the other time? I'm going to use it as well, so that it will be added to this branch, right? So if I paste this, sorry, that's not what I'm going to get, and that's not what I want to do rather. So I'm going to see, where is it? I'm going to get this I'm going to get this URL, this remote URL, right? So I'm going to say git remote add origin, right? And paste this. Now when I do this, it has been added. Remote origin already exists. I could say git what's it called, push -u origin, right? Then I want to set, okay, now the origin, now I'm not going to use main, I'm going to say new underscore branch, right? I can do something like set. Oh, this thing is being blocked. Let me take this over. Okay, this is set upstream, right? So let's see this. That's what this will give. Okay, good. Right? So this thing has been pushed to my new branch, right? Now when I come over here, I'm going to see say new branch has been pushed recently. Then I could compare and pull. So now when I come to this branch, you can see I'm still having main, right? When I reload this page, this is what will happen. I'm having two branches here now, right? I'm having the main and the new branch, right? So if I go to the new branch, right? So this is what I'm having. Index 2 is being added to the new branch, right? Now, but for the main branch, there's no index 2. Is that also? Let's go back. Oh, no need to go back. I'm sorry about that. Now, for the main branch, there is no index 2. Now, I could compare and pull. So, what does compare and pull means? Now, a pull request is being sent when, let me say, you see an process project, you work on it, and you want your changes to be merged and stuff like that. So, now, after doing that, let me say that was a bug or something. I'm going to send a pull request. After sending this pull request, the owner of the repo is going to merge my pull request, stuff like that. So, I could do something like this, adding a new branch. I could say, added a new page, right? Then I could say create a pull request, right? Say new pull request has been created. So if I create something like this and the owner of the project is okay with it, the person could, open it and merge the pull request. I could say compare, merge and pull, right? So if I confirm this merge now, watch what's going to happen. I'm going to be having this new branch on the main repo as well, which is that new index.html on the main repo, right? So watch what will happen if I come back here. Now you can see the main branch is now having this index2.html. So that's just all about that, creating and measuring and stuff like that. So you can see it's very easy. How do I create my branch? I started with git checkout, right? So let's go back again and run through the steps. So I started with git checkout, right? After doing git checkout, that will create a new branch. And I could say git commit -m, which is my commit message. I could say sorry, git add first before committing. And after committing, I'm going to what's it called? I'm going to push to the new branch and set the upstream, right, to the new branch, right? So there's also a command I could use git switch to run that, but I don't want to do all of that. So let's go again. I could say git checkout, right? Is that not so? Then now after doing this checkout, I could do something like the name of the branch I want to use, right? So let's not run through those steps again. So you are going through the video, you are going to see them. So let me just clear my screen. So that's that about Git and GitHub. It's very Git and GitHub is kind of frustrating though while learning it, but then it has become easy, right? So there's what we call forking a repo. Now, what to fork a repo means, it simply means to get everything on that repo and bring it to your repo as though you are the owner of the repo. That's just what it means. So let's see, let me look for a repo and fork. I don't know if network will allow me, right? So if I come to my profile, let me look for somebody I'm following, then fork one of these or repo. Let's see. I don't want to fork my own repo. It doesn't really make sense. Now, let's say I see a project and I really like the project and I want that project, I could fork the repo or clone it to anyone of my choice. And when you clone, it means you are kind of downloading it, then you push to GitHub. But when you fork, it means you've pushed it to your own GitHub already, right? As though it's yours. But when you update your own, you don't have access to the original one on the other person's photo. That's just what it means. But then to be shown on the stuff that is being forked, right? So please take note of that. The core of network. I wanted to create a GitHub repository for all of our projects, and I'm going to send you the link. So maybe later on I could do that and send the link over to you. But then you've already known how to create a repo. We've done it in this class. So that's for that. So let's see. Now I think when the repo is forked, I think it's going to should I say bring the date with which that repo is being created, right? So let's see. Let's just see how it goes. I'm going to look for a recent repo, so we don't have to scroll down and so on and so forth, right? So let's see. Okay, I think I'm going to add code this as a tab equal to following. done a lot of crazy stuff. Okay, so this has load. Let me just click on this guy. Let me go to his repositories. The savior is the first person I followed, the person who introduced me to GitHub. So okay, this is okay. Let's see, these are 2 weeks ago. So if I click on this savior is project, right? I could fork the repo. So this is the fork, so I could fork the repo. Right now, let's see what's going to happen. I click on fork. Right, so you can see now I'm now having something like this as though I'm creating this repo. Right, then now I could click on create fork, right, and keep the main branch showing. Okay, good. So I can see this folder, sorry, this repo. Now on my, what's it called? On my repo or on my own account, you can see I'm having the GOG Freeman slash savior as though I created this repo, right? So if I go to my profile, I just want to show you something. I go to my repositories, right? Right, so you can see this repository over here, savior is here, right? So you can see it's forked from savior is here, right? So that's for that. So when I click on it, I'm going to see what I saw the other time. So like I said, it gives reference to the timing, right? So well, like this thing was created 3 weeks ago, so this thing is here, right? Just like 3 weeks ago as well, right? So it was updated 3 weeks ago. This was one I did 10 minutes ago, right? Then this is the Twitter clone. This has been done since last month, and so on and so forth. So guys, this is about Git and GitHub. Though we're kind of should I say rushing things, but then you just have to take your time, learn, go through the documentation. You're going to see a lot of things as well, and also do where to check my channel for the complete Git and GitHub video. This is just like run through of the class. So thanks very much, guys, for joining. I really do hope to see you in the next course. In our next class, we're going to be looking at JavaScript. We're going to be starting JavaScript from the absolute scratch. So if you have zero knowledge of JavaScript, or you're a JavaScript developer, let me see, you just started learning JavaScript, or you have something with JavaScript, you could join us, right? So thanks very much for joining. I really do appreciate you guys. Hope to see you. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And also don't forget to comment as well. So see you in the next video. Bye for now.